Hey, coming up right now, a New Jersey man takes cyberbullying to another level.
Also coming up, a tattoo addict who cut off his fingers is now offering fans an opportunity to follow in his footsteps. All right.
A little bit later on, the world's tallest model has her OnlyFans content stolen. And this former Olympian says she knows who did it.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. So happy to have you along here. We got an hour packed with trending news and entertainment. Matt Doolittle also joining us, which I'm surprised he's here, not at the theme parks for today. What are you doing here?
Big announcements.
Yeah,
okay.
announcements.
We love our friends at Epcot. We've hung out there a lot. So, you know, the Food and Wine Festival is always a huge hootenanny of a shindig.
Huge hit,
Well,
yeah.
they just announced the bands in there. So here's some of the highlights.
Ooh.
Sugar Ray, Hoobastank, Sheila E., Joey Fatone and Friends, and Switchfoot are some of the headliners, and Hanson are going to be out there starting August 30th.
I think it's the 90s.
The
90s called.
The 90s.
And it's the
College.
best. Like, I want to go see Ryan Cabrera and Joey Fatone out there.
Joey Fatone doing those Dunkin' Donut commercials now. Have you
That's
seen him in the back there?
right, yeah.
And he's, I don't know what Hoobastank's doing, but I just like saying Hoobastank. I love it.
I mean, 98 degrees will be there the last day in November. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Will it be 98 degrees?
It'll be here in November, so yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Well, we'll
very
check
good.
that out.
So there is a new kind of work trend happening, and that is that employers are demanding that workers come back into the office.
Yeah.
We've been talking a little bit about this, but now it's getting a lot more serious. Patagonia, which is the big outdoor company, saying either you are back within 30 days in the office or consider yourself done.
And this would be, I guess, the corporate offices.
Yeah, corporate
right?
offices, and they've got several locations throughout the U.S. But they're saying, look, we're done with the COVID stuff. You must come back to work and be in the office.
I love that an outdoor store is wanting you to come indoors. Isn't that funny?
know, right?
If that tells you that, hey, they're serious about it.
But
I agree with them. I think
do
so.
too. I mean, but Patagonia's not the only company. I mean, several of them across the U.S. are saying this is the relocation ultimatum. It is time. So, and a lot of people are fighting back, saying, I don't want to come back into the office.
And you know what? They should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Again, it was to teach us. First off, we never thought anybody could do a TV show from your house, and we've seen that. Everything's changed. Everything
Yes.
made it easy to be able to do that,
Yeah.
and then telecommuting and that sort of thing with our Zoom and so on. It seems like it makes more sense, but they're paying rent on buildings,
Yes.
and that's
So-
what I think a lot of it has. And productivity.
My wife works for a pretty big corporate company that's global, actually, and she was like, hey, come have lunch with me the other day. I said, okay. So I went out there, and this giant building, everybody
Yes,
knows it.
I live right
it's
next
an
to it,
Orlando
yeah.
icon.
Yep.
Nobody's in there. And
No,
I'm
weird.
like, what are they
Weird.
paying
So
for rent? Like, I
weird.
went and parked in the parking garage. No cars in there. It's very weird.
That place has a restaurant inside. Or
Yeah,
used
it's
to.
really good
Is it
restaurant.
still
No, it's still there.
Okay.
It's very
To
good.
tell you how big it
Yeah,
is.
it's interesting too because you don't think about the trickle down effect that it has. Like, a couple of the smaller restaurants do big catering for companies
Oh,
and
yeah.
corporate events. Well, if you're no longer having corporate events within the office, they're losing business because they can no longer cater your business luncheon, right?
yeah.
Or they're depending on, business lunch, the business lunch crowd coming into their restaurant, as opposed to people who are working from home. They're eating at home.
And you'll find, again, people saying, your productivity is better when you're on your own pace and that sort of thing. And then you also have people, no, we need
Yeah.
you in the office because of, a resolution of problems and that sort of
Exactly.
thing. So
I think it's a pendulum, right? It
think you're
swings one way and then it kind of finds itself in the middle again.
we go now to online gaming. A dispute there made its way to the real world when a New Jersey man flew to Florida to attack another player with a hammer in real life. The
Okay.
20-year-old suspect flew from New Jersey to Florida after telling his mom, I'm going to go visit a friend he met online. The suspect then went to the victim's home, confronted him with a hammer. The two struggled as the victim called for help. Following the attack, 20-year-old Edward Kang arrested and charged with attempted second-degree murder and armed burglary. I'm telling you, this is where trolls, they get online and they go after people and they
Yeah.
feel safe behind the computer
Yep.
until something like this happens. Now, I'm not saying this will always happen, that sort of thing, but you know what? you push somebody far enough or push the wrong person, that
Yeah.
will happen.
Is that a result of like gamers being able to talk to one another while they're gaming, and they create this persona, and then they create this animosity between one another?
100%. And I mean, some things that I've heard, on gaming, I mean, they're just brutal.
Yeah.
And it gets people upset.
That's a proper psychopath, though, to get that angry.
Completely.
Buy the ticket, go to the airport, bring Hammer with thee, then fly on that, like the 3 hours it took to get from there to Florida, probably.
Yeah.
And then still want to make with the Hammer.
Yeah.
You got a problem.
And out of all that, I'm like, how do you get Hammer on the airplane?
Well, that's
what I
Yeah.
Did he get it from the rental car and he bought it on the way too?
Which makes it even worse. I mean, gotta stop,
I
pick up
hope-
a
I
I
hammer.
need to stop at Home Depot real quick.
There was a lot of premeditation that went
Is
into
he just
this
walking
moment.
around going like, this feels like a good way.
Get out in the real world, folks.
Yeah, step away from the
computer.
TV screen
Touch
and
grass.
and the gaming control system. If you're squeamish, you might want to look away from your screen right now. A man in France says he's using his body as a canvas as he removes certain body parts. His goal is to look like an alien from outer space.
Yeah, done.
He has removed certain parts, ears,
his ear.
fingertips. He's even tattooed his eyes to look more otherworldly. He's also sliced his tongue to look more like a snake. Fans of this kind of body modification have been offered the opportunity to join him in his journey through the Black Alien Tattoo Program. In the course, fans will be able to learn about health, safety, and hygiene when it comes to these extreme makeovers.
And I'll probably get a lot of heat for this, but the only thing I'd say to the guy is like, who hurt you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Show us on the doll where,
yeah. I mean,
Stop it.
I say that, and they say tattooing is very addictive. Number one, but sometimes you see extremes. There's got to be some kind of level of like, your body. I guess they look at it as a canvas, and that's what they do. But I mean, you're not gonna. You'll never date my daughter. First off, or it's gonna be hard for you in life afterwards to be able to do that. And there has to be some kind of, all right, I'm going to stop here, and a lot of times that doesn't happen.
But they don't, and then you have to wonder too. I always think about these people like, what happens when you turn 60 or 70?
Yeah.
That the whole fascination of that wears off, and you just look like an 80-year-old with wrinkly tattoos.
And a split tongue,
And a split
it's,
tongue.
yeah, it's got to be hard. We go from that to the world's tallest model, who claims that she's lost out on about $500,000 after her OnlyFans content was stolen. She's a former Olympian with record long legs, gone to court to unmask the thieves who stole her X-rated post. She claims the clip was stolen, would have brought in about $500,000 of online revenue. She told the court the theft has created major financial hardship. And now I'll just leave. And now it's asking the judge to reveal the identities of the people behind the theft. Now, she believes that the thieves might be working for a rival model agency, and she told the court that they are using some content to drive traffic to their own websites. So if they say they have it and they're like, hey, we want it back, and it's one of those situations where I think of Kim Kardashian, I guess, with the tape getting out. Is this part of that? Like, will this person get more notoriety because there's this tape out there now?
Yeah, and is she doing this specifically to draw more attention to herself? Yes, I think there's a strong possibility.
Even though you're the tallest model in the room, and if you need more of that, I guess so. But imagine. She says $500,000. How can you quantify that? But I guess she can somehow. All right. We go from that model to a hand model, and a winner has been announced from a unique pizza job from Domino's. Down under in Queensland, a school teacher, Matt Strain, was chosen to be their new hand model following a nationwide search.
that? Okay.
Domino's Pizza said that they were looking for someone who could lift 4 pizzas of slices in one hand. After hundreds of applicants, the 39-year-old was chosen as a new pizza hand model. Gig pays $66 an hour.
Wow.
He said the hand modeling is not difficult. It's the standing and waiting around on the set that gets to be tiring. Strain's actually going to be featured in Domino's new ad campaign there, featuring their latest menu items. You can get Vegemite, I guess, on a pizza down under.
Can you really?
I would imagine.
I would imagine, yeah, you'd
Down
have
there
to.
you have it.
Domino's and Heineken. That was the college
Really?
choice.
That was your thing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, working for Domino's, I probably delivered that,
You
but not the
probably
Heineken.
did, yeah.
I'm always fascinated by those people, especially when you see them like their hand models there, or like QVC, or like those
Yes.
people. They always have the most finely coiffed nail. I bite my nails, so I
Didn't
know it.
George Costanza
Yes.
get hired
Yeah,
as a
and he
hand
did.
model?
And he picked up an iron because it was the puffy shirt.
Puffy pirate
episode.
shirt,
But
right?
I think beyond that, it was David Duchovny in Zoolander. Remember, he was the hand model, and he had his hands in that
the
glass,
gloves,
and
yes.
it glowed up and everything. He was a hand model, and he couldn't mess with his hands. Yeah, and I look too, and I look at my hands, and I'm going, yeah, I pick at mine. I got this.
I got
this, and
scars over here and this and that. I got
The
a
commitment
piece
to
of a
be
pale
to wear
pencil lead.
gloves and all of that in order to preserve your hands.
Just for hands.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, yeah, I got stabbed in 2nd grade, so I still have a piece of pencil lead over here.
Don't
so.
you think AI would change all of that?
It seems like
Because
it would.
There wouldn't be a need for an actual hand model anymore, right?
We'll have more coming up. Hamburger Helper helps your hamburger helper make a great meal.
And right after this.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Trending stories right now. When planning a trip, you can't guarantee your flight won't be delayed, your bag won't disappear, or you won't have a nightmare neighbor next to you, but you can try and make the best of it by choosing an airline you trust. Qatar Airways consistently places high on a number of global airline rankings. Now, after surrendering the top prize to Air New Zealand back in 2023, it has once again been named the world's best airline. The annual Airline Excellence Awards rate carriers using 12 criteria that include safety, the age of the fleet, serious incidents, innovation, plane design, and passenger reviews. Qatar Airways was #1 in many of those key areas, and the passenger reviews scored the airline ahead of all the others for consistency and service. I think that is the key when it comes to consumers lately, consistency. If I go to your airline, if I go to your restaurant, if I go to your grocery store, is it consistent?
And you talk about airlines too. You think about, because your flights, you're going to be on different planes every single time. You're not going to do that. I think a lot of it too, and we were discussing, just even as the flight attendants show, they're dressed nice and classy. I mean, I think that kind of sets the stage somewhat.
It makes a difference.
I think it really
doesn't
does.
it?
And like if I see somebody, like I'm like, all right, I need a, this is a classy place.
Yeah.
I'm going to act classy. I mean,
It might be on a better behavior.
better behavior. I think it has something to do with it. But in an age where, too, customer service and satisfaction, it seems like sometimes airlines like, well, we'll get you there. Don't you worry. We'll determine if you're going to get there. And you're just left alone in a city sometimes because flights are
Yes.
canceled and so on and so forth.
I think you get what you pay for sometimes.
And that's another good point. Exactly. Gen Z at it again, bringing back a dead millennial trend. The younger generation is gravitating towards golden goose shoes that are designed to look all scuffed up and dirty.
Okay.
Fashion retailer Coggles explained that the signature pre-scuffed style has been done to demonstrate an attitude of I don't care rather than just looking sloppy. While the dirty looking shoes had their moment with millennials, they're starting to gain traction with Gen Z. Last summer, took off this year. Golden Goose shoes, get this, they start off at $565
Oh, come
to
on.
reach up to $2,300. Most parents, no, they're not thrilled when they find out that their kids are spending this much money on dirty-looking sneakers. And I think even Nike just came out with one that it looks like you stepped in mud. Like it's literally painted on the bottom of it and all scuffed up and looks like a old school bus, like a dirty, rusted school bus. And they're selling them like crazy.
Of course they are.
It is something different. And to me, I kind of like that trim, but I'm not paying $500 for shoes.
Well, that's my next question. I get that you can save your money and buy whatever you want. I think that's great. I encourage that. But what millennial, what Gen Zer has $600 to drop on a pair of Golden Goose shoes?
You're right, and that's a lot. Yeah, the Golden Goose is.
Where are you getting $2,300 to buy a pair of those shoes?
And also we're seeing a lot where they're not buying homes either. There's like everything's kind of temporary.
Yeah.
So it's called a trend for a reason. So maybe this will go
This is
away.
true. A man's attempt to get the name of a popular soda brand tattooed on his arm backfired after it spelled a word with far less sugar involved. According to a Reddit post, the unnamed body art recipient wanted the word Sprite tattooed on his arm, only for the artist to accidentally ink Spite on an illustration of a soda can. I love my Spite can, he says, whose catastrophe had forum users in hysterics. The original poster also encouraged readers to share other garbage tats they love, prompting a flurry of responses.
No regrets is what I always think of. Remember
regrets.
that? To me, though, that's almost ironic.
Yeah.
Somewhat. It seems like it's cooler that it says spite on it.
Than it says
otherwise,
Sprite, yeah.
didn't look all that great of a tattoo. But we keep talking about tattoos, and they're not cheap. Number one. But
No.
if you love Sprite that much.
Yeah, and he apparently he signed off on the design, so I don't know whether there was a misfire
true.
between the design and the guy just forgot about it when or gal was doing it, or
Yeah.
if it was truly
I
on
think
him.
I think he wanted it to say spite, and then like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to admit it.
Oh God, look at that tattoo! What a mistake. Okay.
All right, it's the latest workaround. So move over quiet quitting. Millennials have devised a new way of playing hooky at the workplace, and it's called quiet vacationing. 30-something office workers are taking time off under the pretense that they plan working remotely. And according to a recent Harris poll, millennial workers said that they took time off without informing their bosses. And according to research, nearly half of the surveyed responses, including 61% of millennials and 58% of Gen Zers, say that they actually felt anxious about asking for personal time off. I can understand that. I don't think it would ever go over because you really did not go on a vacation unless you take 10,000 pictures and show everybody how great your life is while
Yes.
you're on vacation, too.
And we've all worked with those people who've called out sick only to post the fact that they're on a plane headed to Europe somewhere.
Absolutely.
The vacation blues.
You can't anymore.
Started early.
I'm up in the air with like, okay, I get it. If you can effectively do your job on a computer,
Yeah,
but the
sure.
thing is, when you're on a vacation, you're not given 100%. And I think that's what it comes down to. Bosses need to learn more about objective management, which is, all right, this is the project. This is when and what needs to be done. And these are some of the variables that I need you to stay within. Otherwise, go at it. And it allows a lot of freedom for the employee or whoever to be able to accomplish those goals.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that these employees have the freedom to work from home, so they
sounds like
don't
it.
necessarily have to report to a boss, because I'd find it hard just to disappear for 3 weeks and do your job from home
Right.
when you're, out touring Europe and, Italy and whatnot. And also, can we get the job done in less time? 4 to 6 hours? I feel like there's this mandatory 8-hour workday,
I think
which
you're right.
seems completely
Archaic. almost.
Archaic, thank you,
And
yes.
I agree with you. And again, it goes back to that, look, this is what I need done, and these are the variables that I
Yes.
want. And, I think you're going to have a happier employee
Yes.
as well. And in return, the employer will feel better about it, just as so long as, you can't feel jealous for somebody to do it. It's like, I figured out how to do my
Right.
job this way effectively.
Right.
It's all about being effective, I guess, right? And
Yeah.
we'll be most effectively when we come out. Matt's going to give us the Is It True about mosquitoes.
Ooh.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I am Matt Doolittle, and welcome to Is It True This Week? Now, I'm going to start out by asking you guys, so there's a rumor out there, is it true there are no mosquitoes at Walt Disney World? There's been a long-standing rumor that the Walt Disney Company somehow can control the mosquito population. Many headlines were circulated in the early 2020s, such as, why are there no mosquitoes at Walt Disney World? Another person said that mosquitoes are banned from Disney. You won't see any while you're there. So wait, hang on, guys. I got an expert on this too. I got an expert. I'm calling in on this. Hang on just a second, because this person used to take me there all the time. So let me make sure.
All right.
Okay.
So Matt is getting an expert on the line here, and we're finding out.
Hey, Mom.
Mom.
Yeah. Hey, you're on the show. So you used to take me to Disney like all the time, right?
Yeah.
There's a rumor out there that there's no mosquitoes there. What do you say?
I beg to differ. I've got the bites and I can prove it.
All right.
All right. So you say it's true they have mosquitoes out there.
Oh, they have more than they need.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mom. Call you later. Love you. Bye.
All right. All right. So
But-
Mama
but-
Doolittle says no.
So overall, what do you guys think?
I say they do something to control it.
I'm
think
with
there's
you
some
on
kind
that
of
one.
speaker, because I've heard of like a noise that emits.
Oh.
I've heard that rumor, and they
So-
have them for backyard. So I say, yeah, they do
Yes,
something.
I'm
to control
with
it.
Mitch on this one.
So overall, it is false. There are mosquitoes at Disney, but they
No
do use a mix of pesticides and natural ways to get rid of them, such as you'll see bat houses all over the park area, and they try to get rid of the standing water as quick as they can. They have over 86 miles of canals, service roads, fire break areas, power lines, all that stuff that they have to take care of.
Okay.
That is a good point. It seems like they should develop a character, though, that is a mosquito.
Mosquito
and
that-
then they can go, oh,
Had a-
Look, there's little Timmy. I can't kill him.
So it is false, but they
False.
do control their
Okay.
pests out
Okay.
there.
All right,
and
so
one,
yes and no.
one more, is it true? So Will Smith has had an interesting roller coaster of a career and personal life lately.
Yes.
But are the rumors that he will be playing the beloved Mrs. Doubtfire, which of course was made famous by the late great Robin Williams. Don't forget, he also replaced him in the Aladdin reboot.
oh,
which
that's
is-
right.
So what do you guys think?
Well,
Is it
I
true
say
or false?
just based off that, I can't, especially with what's been going on. I say no. There's no way that he's going to take that's iconic role.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Robin Williams added so much to it. I can't see anybody taking it.
Yeah, I'm going to say thumbs
False?
down on that
Thumbs
one.
down. Yeah.
That is indeed false.
Okay.
Mrs. Doubtfire is safe for now.
Now.
For now.
For now.
You know, and speaking of Aladdin, wasn't there a big thing with Robin Williams that he made up so much of his lines that they had to
Yes.
go back and kind of make him a writer,
Yeah.
contributing to that. So.
And isn't he the one that actually kind of was able to foretell AI? And he's got a specific stipulation that his likeness and voice cannot be
Look at
used in
that. Yep.
future projects.
Good for him.
The only thing they were allowed to use it on was the 100-year Disney special, where they got special approval from his family to use a direct quote voice from one clip of that scene.
Interesting. Well, see, Matt knows all about
Yeah,
the
he sure
Disney. Anything Disney he knows about.
He's our
that.
expert.
All right, and work on the mosquito.
I'll get on
I
that,
think because
yeah.
that could be.
Your
they could
mom
make a
was
lot of money.
fantastic, by the way.
Don't prep the
She
ego
needs
on.
to be she might need to be a contributor here on the show.
We don't
All
have
of our is it trues.
we don't have a dump button, so it's going to be.
All right. Thank you there, Maddie. Check this out. A 90-year-old holder of the Guinness World Record for the oldest truck driver said the word retire not in his vocabulary. His name's Doyle Archer, and he's worked for a company for 20 years. He's certified as the world's oldest truck driver at the
Wow.
age of 90 years old. Archer has been driving trucks for more than 60 years, racking up approximately 5.5 million miles behind
Oh
the
my
wheel.
gosh.
Archer has told the Guinness World Records that as long as he has good health and it holds up, he's going to keep on driving. The great-grandfather of 26 said he's going to have to haul in his semi-truck, taking him all across the country and actually sorts all kinds of different cargo as well. And have at it, man. I love hearing that. And you know, that might be what keeps him active is just the cognitive
Yes.
of driving. But I know that's such a big thing when you get older, but giving up that license.
A lot of people talk about how retirement isn't all it's cracked up to be because all of a sudden you've gone from working a job your entire life and filling your days with going to work and working with other people to nothing.
Right.
And there's a mental thing that plays with it.
I
that a
think
lot
what
of
we need to
folks-
do
yeah.
is exactly what you said,
Yeah.
is that, okay, you got the money to take care of, but what are you going to do with that money during that time besides sit at home and
Yes.
watch TV all day? That's
Right.
where a lot of it goes away, all
Yeah.
that cognitive use.
And I think that, you know, there's only so much golf you can play in a day. There's only so many, mahjong groups
True.
you can join. So I think having a place to go and having a purpose outside of enjoying your free time is essential, as you grow older.
Complaining, though, still very active. You're allowed to do that as much
Yes,
as
especially about your lawn.
your lawn.
That is a priority.
You've worked at all of this to be able to complain. So just be happy about that too. I'm certain this guy is really happy because he's doing what he loves to do and gets to see the world.
Yeah.
5.5 million miles. That is nothing just to put the brakes on.
What do you think his CB handle is?
Ooh, good call.
Yeah.
I would say old timer. I would say old timer.
Old-timer.
You
I
got
like
the
that.
old timer. Come
Old-timer.
on. Tell you what, good buddy, you stick around. We'll have more Daily Flash.
Stick around, everybody. We're going over. I will have more.
What for, good buddy?
You shake the trees, we'll rake the leaves, good buddy.
Oh, I like it. We're back right after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
September.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. For some reason, we got on talking about the Penguin that's
With
coming out.
Colin Farrell. Looks so
coming out in
good.
September. Okay, so our folks at Wells Fargo, they go, you know what? These people at Chipotle, they keep on talking about portion control. And like, if you go to one Chipotle,
Yeah.
it's going to be the same thing as the other. So they go at Wells Fargo, an analyst says, you know what we're going to do? We're going to figure this out. So they order 75 bowls of the exact same thing in New York City. Went to 8 different restaurants.
Okay.
ordered the exact same
Fascinated
thing,
by this.
and came out that there is nothing when it comes to portion control. The lightest bowl they
Shocker.
found was 47% lighter than the heaviest, which you're talking about half. So again, you have people making it right there in front of
Sure.
you. So they're just throwing it in. And while the folks at Chipotle said, no, it's even no matter what, they went and proved it. Now, I bring this story up because wasn't it Wells Fargo that just fired a bunch of people because they weren't doing their job?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And this analyst comes out and says,
this
"Oh, well, I'm going to do my job and I'm going to go and buy a bunch of Chipotle."
How does this fit into the Wells Fargo business plan?
He's an analyst, and everybody was talking about it, I guess, at work. That's all I really have from it. I guess challenging, maybe because they might have some money invested in Chipotle and kind of want to do some research on their own.
okay.
For the
I
stock
don't know.
prices and everything. But don't you give that guy that side eye when you go, really? That's all you're going to do with the chicken there? Or Subway now?
Yes.
Subway, they put it on a scale. And you're like, no.
I'm sorry, but I think they should. I do, honestly. Like, and Chipotle, the same thing. Like, is there a secret menu at Chipotle to say, I want half of what you're giving me? Because it's ridiculous.
It's
what
way too much.
I mean, and half the time, the burrito doesn't even make it into the tin foil because it's spilling out, and then they have to wrap it with 3 additional tortillas.
Is that
I
big?
just don't get it. Like, are you serious? Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
and you get that when you have different artists, if they
Yes.
call them that, making their
Sure.
stuff.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Now we know.
An online gaming dispute made its way to the real world when a New Jersey man flew to Florida to attack another player with a hammer. The 20-year-old suspect flew from New Jersey to Florida after telling his mother that he was going to visit a friend that he met online. Well, the suspect then went to the victim's home, confronted him with a hammer. The two struggled as the victim called for help. Following the attack, 20-year-old Edward Kang was arrested and charged with attempted second-degree murder and armed burglary.
Wow. Yeah, you really must really want to get that person. And I guess how would you find it?
That's a good question.
That's another thing.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you track that person down?
He was foolish if the guy just gave him his address or told him where. Yeah, it's foolish. Yeah, imagine an IP. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have those details.
Well, you know, in this day and age, everybody's on social media, and we
That's a good
put
point.
all of our personal details out there. So I'm sure it didn't take much for him to figure out where the guy lived.
And a hammer. What game do you think they were playing that a hammer would?
Oh, that's a Fortnite fight right
Fortnite?
there. That's a scream. I mean, he already looks like Butthead on there. So I mean,
He did.
he's ready to go and fight
did.
whatever. I wouldn't trust that guy at all. He's just got
Some
that
sort
dead
of
eyes going on.
Medieval armor or something.
I would have rather he showed up with like a sword and like a whole like
On a
armor
horse,
thing.
maybe?
Yeah,
with
ready
a-
to like challenge to a
character.
duel, slapped him with
Yeah.
a glove or something rather than a hammer.
I like the character idea.
Stay in character the
Yeah.
whole way. All right. Little squeamish, are you? Well, you might want to look away from your screen right now. There's this dude over in France. Not sure if he has anything to do with the Olympics, but he's using his body as a canvas as he removes certain body parts. His goal is to look like an alien from outer space. He's removed his fingertips, he's clipped his ears, he's tattooed his eyes to make him look a little bit more otherworldly. He's also sliced his tongue so he can look like a sneaky snake. Fans of this kind of body modification have been offered the opportunity to join him in his journey through the Black Alien Tattoo Program. Now, in the course, fans will be able to learn about health, safety, hygiene when it comes to those extreme makeovers and realizing, this stuff doesn't come off. It's there to stay.
I noticed he's got like some sort of reptilian thing underneath one of his arms there, looking at the
Oh, I've
video.
seen that
Yeah.
before. And then they'll also put the
the knobs or the nubs in
Yeah.
the forehead. But I don't understand what the point of chopping off your fingers is.
fingernail,
for.
or I guess because
But he's
aliens
like-
wouldn't have them, or...
But he's like missing 2 whole fingers on his one hand, it looked like.
And the no ear,
the
these were
no
made for a
ears.
reason, so you could hear it when you get rid of them.
Yeah.
Maybe people are telling you need to stop. Stop with the tattoos.
This week on The Scene with Doreen, I got to sit down with Chris Stein, co-founder and lead guitarist of the group Blondie. He has a new memoir out, and I'm excited to dig in. Check it out. 2024 marks the 50th birthday of when Blondie was formed in 1974. I can't even imagine how that changed your life.
Yeah, well, I met Debbie in '73, so we start using the name. Yeah, I guess for a year.
You were in another group together called the Stilettos first.
Well, I met her at the first Stilettos show at a little bar, and I thought she was really fantastic. And it just went from there.
Was it love at first sight?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I was just really taken with her immediately.
Was it for her?
Allegedly, she says so.
What was it about Blondie that you think struck a chord with fans, so much so that you are still hearing the music played everywhere today?
We're lucky we hooked up with Mike Chapman. He was like the George Martin of Blondie, and the stuff sounds modern. It doesn't sound dated. You hear a lot of stuff that was recorded in the 70s and the 80s especially, and it sounds like that period. And the Blondie stuff doesn't necessarily fall into that group.
The song Rapture was so important to not only Blondie's body of work, but also to music in general. It was the first #1 single in the United States to feature rap vocals, and it was the first rap video ever broadcast on MTV. What inspired two pop music, very white kids from New York to pave the way for rap artists?
Well, we had met Freddie, who went on to have his Yo Raps TV show on MTV. He took us up to a gig in the Bronx, and it was just eye-opening to see all that stuff. I don't know if it was like 77 or 78, but it was fantastic, and it was going on at the same time as the downtown music scene, and I found it very exciting. It just seemed like a no-brainer to pay homage to what we saw.
It had to be quite surreal to witness the underground scene of rap artists.
I felt it was like, a marginalized group of kids who were like literally finding their voice. And that aspect wasn't lost on me at the time.
Take a tour through the store, don't strain your brain. Paint a train, you'll be singing in the rain. Say, don't stop, do punk rock.
You said that MTV really didn't want to play your videos in heavy rotation.
Well, they never got choked on us because we had been doing videos for many years prior to MTV, and I always thought they wanted to say like we invented Madonna and we invented Billy Idol,
Yeah.
But they never quite got on the Blondie bandwagon so much.
Do you think that your connection to rap and hip hop played a part in that?
Possibly, I don't know. We worked with guys from Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep, and I had guys from both those groups tell me that Rapture was the first rap song they'd ever heard.
It's not just lip service when I say you made history.
It just seemed like so obvious to do it. I don't know why we were first, but we were.
Your new memoir, Under a Rock, it's a very candid look into your life with Blondie and also the highs and the lows of the rock and roll industry. Was it easy for you to open up your past and retell those stories?
I remember all that stuff. I have all these things in my head about my past that I've always gone over and over in my brain, so it was pretty easy. I did a lot of research. I was online all this time and go researching with other Blondie books to get the timelines and some things, right.
It is a fascinating read.
Thanks, Doreen.
If you want to hear more of our great conversation, you can visit right here. And for now, I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
Renowned clinical nutritionist Tara Coleman shares her top tips for providing kids with the necessary energy for the upcoming school season.
When it comes to building a balanced back-to-school snack, there's 3 simple things I want you to remember. I want you to make sure the snack has something from the carbohydrate group, something from the protein group, and perhaps most importantly, I want to make sure it tastes good. Because let's be honest, healthy food only works if your kids actually eat it. So if they don't enjoy it, they're not going to eat it. It's not going to do anyone any good. So let's dig into this a little bit deeper. So carbohydrate, this is our quick energy, right? Typically we think of tortillas or crackers, whole grains, right? Those are beautiful sources of carbohydrates. But fruits and vegetables are our most important carbs. They are full of vitamins and minerals. And they're going to give your kids the energy it needs to think and grow and play and learn. And the other good thing is a lot of these have naturally occurring sugars, so that sweet flavor that your kids love. So leaning on grapes or clementines or treetop applesauce is a great way to make sure they get that really healthy, fast-acting energy. Now let's balancing out with some protein. Protein is the staying power. Protein is going to help them concentrate. Protein is going to keep them full. And protein is the animal protein that we typically think of, perhaps turkey slices, string cheese, but also things like nuts, seeds, beans, lentils. All of these things fall into the protein category. So let's bring this together. What are some examples of a really balanced snack? We could have something like some fresh fruit and some nuts. We could have more portable options like applesauce pouches and string cheese, some crackers and hummus, or yogurt and fruit. Again, we're looking for the vitamins and minerals and quick energy, and then the staying power of the protein to make sure that snack is balanced. Now, if you're looking for other tips like this, I mentioned Treetop earlier. You can go to treetop.com/fuel and get some more easy tips for you and your kids, but also some quick and delicious recipes. Because eating nutrition is super important, but it should be fun and it should be delicious.
Hey, are you ready to discover what the hottest new trends are that will make your pet's life even more fabulous? Well, let's head out to fabulous Las Vegas and join pet trend expert Christine Johnson at Super Zoo, the largest pet retail event in North America.
Well, welcome to Super Zoo. At this show, we are being joined by over 18,000 pet professionals who are here to explore 6 football fields worth of space that's jam-packed with 1,100 exhibitors. This is where the pet community comes to discover the latest and greatest in pet care. You know, Americans spend over $100 billion every year on pet products. So people come here to discover the basics like food and nutrition, but also something a little bit more, whether it's fun for them in terms of toys or the pet tech that's really getting exciting and adding some new features for all those pet parents out there. And with over 1,100 new products being launched at the show this year, there's something new and exciting everywhere you look. For more information about Super Zoo, which is the largest pet retail show in North America, please learn more about us at superzoo.org.
Hey, back to school anxiety is real, and you know as a parent, you want to make sure your kids are prepared, and tech is playing a huge part in that. Tech journalist Jennifer Jolly joins us with the highlights on the hottest tech items and best deals for back to school.
Let's start with the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus Kids Edition. This is kid-proof and ready to roll with a protective puffy cover, 3 Crayola pen styluses for all kinds of art and creativity, and a built-in stand. Plus, it comes with the Samsung Kids app pre-installed on the tablet. That makes it really easy for parents to set up and maintain those ever-important guardrails like screen time limits, limited access to certain sites, all while still empowering kids to explore and grow and learn safely. And it comes in at just under $270, perfect as the right new first tech tool to really grow up alongside your kids. Okay, for older kids, maybe going into a dorm room, check out the 2-in-1 Roku StreamBar SE. This is a really easy way to add 4K streaming and crisp, clear sound to a dorm room, an apartment. I'm getting one for my own house. It's perfect for cutting the cable cord, offering more than 2,500 streaming channels and access to 300,000 plus movies, TV episodes, games, music, sports, international programming, kids programming, all the things. It sounds big, streams big, but that price point is just under $100. Perfect. The PayPal app is a great way to shop smarter, discover deals, and earn cash back. From tech to fashion to school supplies, you just click to save the offer you like on your mobile device. You get a message when it's ready to redeem, and the savings automatically apply at checkout. You can even stack those cash back offers with your favorite card like, well, the PayPal Cashback MasterCard, of course, where you can get an additional 3% cash back when you pay with PayPal. All right, speaking of deals, check out Cricket Wireless's latest deals. Right now, you can get this 2024 Motorola Razr for just under $200 on a new line. Also, from now through September 5th, you can get a bunch of different hot new devices for $1 down payment. It's true. You can also get $35 for every person you refer during August. For up to 20 referrals, hello, that's up to $700. Yes, I passed math class. That's smarter value that just makes good sense. Definitely worth taking a look at. On a bit of a serious note here, AI in education, well, it's kind of a new superpower that both students and teachers can use for tremendous good at all levels, but within specific guidelines. There's a company called Turnitin that works with schools to promote originality and integrity in students' work, and they have some great tips here. Number one, experiment with it yourself so that you'll know what the technology feels like. Number two, talk with your kids early and often to go over the AI do's and don'ts. Number three, students, be transparent about when and how you use AI in your writing and research. No surprises. For more information, go to techish.com.
Hey, Mitchie.
Hey, Jackson.
Yeah, I want to talk about that big story coming out of
Whoa,
Hollywood.
hold on, wait. I want to get Matt in on this call, all right? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Mitch and Dias?
Matty!
Mitchie.
Mateus.
Mitch, my man.
So, Matty of Birkenshire.
What's going on?
Hey, AJ wants us to talk about a big story that's happening.
This kid, the Kiki, says hi. He has his own Instagram.
That's great, Matt, but I really want to talk about this big story coming out of Hollywood.
Ooh, dog and cat, it's
You should check it out. This kid, the Kiki.
I want to know what's going on.
What?
Oh, okay, so real quick. Why does he still have a dial-up modem?
Hey, I gotta get back to wrestling stuff.
It's on the music.
You know what? Maybe we should just try this later.
Okay, all right. Peace and love.
Daily Flash.
Where are you?
It's just better when you're part of the conversation. Join us online. This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites, and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Kind of freaky. That dude freaks us out.
A little
He
bit,
freaks us
yeah.
out just a little bit. Hey, welcome back to the big show. We wrap up the show here. I got to say a big thank you and hello to our friends in Panama City, Florida, and especially at our affiliate WMBB TV there. Past month, I was able to do the weather from up there with Chris Marchand and Kelsey Peck and Jared Sellers, who was helping me out. He was he kind of showed me the weather computers and that sort of thing. It's all new. And so, I've done weather prior to that. For a good 20 years. And the number one thing they teach you, the first thing, the day one when you walk in, it's your outfits. And just like every day, what you have on and what I have on, this is fine here. I totally forgot about it. I go into work, I go in to start doing the weather, and I realize I have a green tie on. I go,
You
I
forgot.
I
about the
forgot.
chroma key.
It didn't even cross my mind. And I'd been there like several days, and I go, I can't wear this. And I'm like, oh my! And the show's about to start. I'm freaking out. I was like, well, I can do it from the Weather Center. Anyway, Ethan, I called him the intrepid reporter. He's like, no, I got you, Mitch. And they went. He gave me a new tie and everything so I was able to wear. But it was one of those rookie mistakes. I was like, these guys probably think I'm just an idiot. But it's just one of those things I didn't even think about.
And for viewers at home, most the meteorologists, the weather forecasters will stand in front of what looks like a green screen so that the maps can look like they're right behind them. So if you are standing in front of the green screen, you can't wear anything green, otherwise it disappears.
So, and thank you for explaining that, because even I say green screen, everybody knows, I think everybody knows what it means. I even think like, just don't do that. And I felt like the biggest idiot. Anyway, everybody there at that station was completely just so professional. Again, WMBB and Panama City, we're on the show. Daily Flash is, of course, on Panama City CW there as well.
Some of the best beaches I've ever been to in the Panhandle of Florida.
WMBB TV, world's most beautiful beaches. That's what WMBB stands for. Isn't that great?
So true.
Yeah, it was so nice being there.
I bet it was.
So nice to have you along as well. Y'all take care. We'll see
you,
when we
everybody.
look at you. Bye-bye.